You are watching the link up right here on CBC TV 8 for a Monday. It's Maintenance Matters. And we just took a trip to Reading in England, and we're now going to go across to the US and zero in on Brooklyn as we chat with Malcolm Adams. Good morning, Malcolm.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're well, thank you. We've begun our phase two of, beginning to phase out of our lockdown, and it's a beautiful Monday. What's it like there
Oh,
in
absolutely.
Brooklyn?
Gorgeous, gorgeous. That's the hardest part about this lockdown is that the
Uh-huh.
weather is getting progressively more beautiful and it gets harder and harder to be disciplined, but you have to be in times like this.
Malcolm, we've heard so many stories. I mean, following all of the news channels, over, and watching your governor on his daily briefings and so on, hearing tales out of New York that frankly have, unnerved a lot of us because we all have family there, we all have friends there. Um, for someone who's on the ground there, what has the last few weeks been for you, Malcolm, and the people that you know?
You know, I'm a big communicator and I'm always on the phone because of my business. And during times like this, you dread to hear the phone ring because you don't want to hear bad news. Unfortunately, we had a neighbor across the street who passed away difficulties due to COVID-19, and I've had family members directly affected by it. So it's just every time the phone rings, you just hope it's a client looking to buy a condo and not some bad news. But but we're being
Yeah.
strong. We're being perseverant. Our governor is been incredible, like incredible, and our
Hmm.
mayor's been really really good as well.
Right. Have you all been following the protocols and rules and so on? Because we've been seeing further down south in Florida that that's not really what a lot of them are doing. What's it been like there for New York?
Well, we have really strong, intelligent leadership that focuses on fact based. So we're not listening to far out theories about what this thing is. This is a real pandemic. There are real consequences to not following the protocol, and we see them firsthand. I've just was on a virtual funeral of a dear fraternity brother of mine who passed away from COVID-19. So we are being directly affected. It's because of our density. We're a huge city and our density. So obviously things like this are going to affect us more, but they're going to affect the country as a whole. So, we're hoping that we get through this first part of it and then we get through the summer and start to get some activity, start to build the economy again, and then be ready for if it comes back again in the winter.
Right. Now, you are an American. You are not a Barbadian.
I,
I,
one day I'd like to be an
but you
honorary
have
Barbadian.
of course, of course. You've just taken the first step by
Thank you. I
joining us
appreciate
here
it.
on the link up. We're really grateful for it because this is the premise of what we're all about on the link up, and this is linking up with people from across the world, to find out what life is like for them right now and how has life changed. So I'll put that to you. How has your life changed? And you can share for the better or for the worse depending on or both. But how has life changed for you due to COVID?
Well, it's been transformative for me because I had another venture in addition to my real estate venture that I was doing simultaneously, and that completely shut down the other venture. And we had some other dear friends of mine who lost their jobs. There's a lot of furloughing because of COVID-19. So the economic impact is humongous. That's what's really affecting people more directly. In regards to schools, the kids have been out of school since early March or something, and then that's been really tough because homeschooling simultaneously with running your business. simultaneously with trying to make sure that the everyone in the household stays safe and stays protected. It's a 24-hour task, and by the time the only thing that's come good out of this is that I've been able to sleep because of exhaustion, because of everything that I have to do during the day. But it's been transformative. It really, I believe it's just a hard restart. It's like God giving us a hard restart, making us reassess what's really important in our lives, our family, our environment. It's just making us reassess. So that's really the most important thing for me.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing is that you had to do a reset back in what, 2008 in the real estate industry, and you just kind of started to get your head above water, and now all of a sudden here comes COVID-19. But do you have an exit strategy once you have come out of lockdown? Have you, while you've been working, been thinking of ways to upgrade your business or perhaps change direction?
Well, I've been working through it. To be quite honest with you, I've been really busy during this lockdown. I've been doing virtual showings. I've been showing properties that are vacant, via lockbox, and doing social distance showings. So I've been extra busy. The thing that's beautiful about real estate is that everybody needs a place to live. They need it. You want to
Hmm.
buy it, you want to lease
Hmm.
it, you need a place to live. It's just like food, it's just like water, it's just like breathing. And so the construct of my business might change. I might focus on investors, I might focus on end buyers, I might focus on different things. But the most important thing is that the real estate professionals are there to help people find their home. And people realize how important their homes are in times like this. When you're on lockdown, people who are blessed like me, you have multiple properties. You can continue to make a living for yourself. You can continue to shelter in place and build your business because you own the property. I mean, that's a blessing right there. So, no, I'm all in. I'm 100%. I'll. This is just the ebbs and flow of the business, and I'm going to be good.
Tell me about these virtual tours. Um, you know, First of all, you've got to set them up because you've got to have the place filmed and that sort of thing. But how does that work in terms of going through and touring places and that spaces, that sort of thing? How does that work?
Well, they work in a number of different ways. Now, because of COVID, that's one of the great things out of COVID that I think by default, when agents get new listings, by default they're going to do virtual tours. So I think out of this pandemic, that's going to be a standard of our industry going forward. So if someone in Barbados wants to buy a condo in Brooklyn, they can see the tour professionally filmed, by my media professionals, and we film it directly as we get it. Some of the other tours are like, if the property is vacant, I can walk through with a camera, I can walk through with my phone, and I can give the tour virtually via WhatsApp or any other, or Zoom or something like that. And I can walk through the property and show it through those apparatus, which is spectacular because it's just like I'm showing it to you in person, but it's safer and it's more efficient. We can record it and send that recording to other people. And then lastly, we do a lot of social distancing touring. So where I have a lot of investors that gut renovate properties and they're vacant and staged, and so you can get people in with masks and gloves. You can open show it via lockbox and let them in, and so the buyers can go through on their own and see it without affecting anybody else. And then when they leave, they have a staff go in and completely disinfect, and then we show up for the next showing. So those are the best because
Wow.
people, at the end of the day, if you're going to spend, $1 million for an apartment, you're going to need to walk in and see it before you spend it.
Yeah, property is expensive in New York.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes difficult to wrap your head around those figures. And then when you see the spaces, they're not exactly big either. So, but
I
thank you
know, but
so much, Malcolm.
I
Thank you so
appreciate you
much.
guys, man.
Um,
Appreciate you.
you're very welcome, and we want you to stay safe and feel free anytime, to message us, bounce back in, because yeah, you are going to technically have major roots now from this day forward.
I am thrilled. I am so blessed. I appreciate you guys and take care. Be safe.
We will. Thank you so much. We've got